Hi everybody, it's Kiki here. So tonight I have a treat. It is what most of you have been waiting for, Kiki's Jag. Oh yeah. So first of all, Jag is a Cape Verdean rice and beans dish, and it comes from the original, right from the islands, Jagacida. Now I've heard a couple different rumors or stories about Jagacida. Jagacida was a different dish. And when people migrated here, we didn't have the same things in America that they did in Cape Verde. So it had to be tailored a little bit. So it became rice, beans, linguisa. You can put whatever, your liking is in there as for some of the proteins and vegetables. So if you ask anybody on Cape or in Mass, New Bedford, any areas, they'll say Jag is rice and beans, basically. So no matter what you've heard or what other people think, this is the way most of us make it who are here. So I'm going to start, and I'm at a different angle tonight. You can see that. So I'm going to start and I'm going to show you how to make this. And everybody, I couldn't give the recipe to anybody, and I put it on the page. I've tried so many times to measure the ingredients, but it doesn't work that way. This is one of those recipes that's about taste and about sight. That's it. So everyone's like, oh my God, you're gonna do like the secret family recipe. It's not a secret. It just can't be like written. It has to be shown. It has to be taught. So this is what we're doing tonight. So I'm just gonna start with the stove on like a medium high, and I'm gonna get things going. So I'm gonna move the camera, bear with me. And what we're gonna do is I'm going to show you how to make this, because when you layer the spices on it, there's no way to give you that correct measurement. I will try again. I've tried like 3 or 4 times and it just didn't taste right. So I'm gonna move this for everybody here. Let's see if we can get this to a right angle where you can see my pot. It looks a little bit. To move this around here. All right, that's all right. I think you can kind of see it. All right. Yep, we're good. Because, good, I can move this exactly how I need to. Boom. Okay, so we are starting with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and what I like to call a pad of butter. A pad is basically 1 tablespoon. You see when you get the butter and the sticks, the hash marks in it, that's a pad of butter, 1 of those. All right, so come on, get in there, buddy. It's gonna start to sizzle up nice for us. Yes. All right, so this is going nice and hot. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped onions. On the page, you're gonna see a different measurement because this was slightly different on the page because I used more rice. But I've already made some for you. I hope you can hear me. I've already made some. I'm just going to slightly turn this down because it is scorching. So I'm just using 1 cup of rice tonight because I've already made some so you can see it after, because this takes about 20 to 25 minutes after it's completely done to really cook and do its thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to cook the onions until they're nice and translucent. Just kind of stirring them. And Jag is even better the next day, and you can basically just fry your Jag just like this. Any leftover with onions, butter, olive oil. A lot of Cape Verdean families I do Jag and eggs as a breakfast. I know a lot of them that do that. So a few different things that we have here. I have linguisa. I have a cup of linguisa, and it's chopped pretty thick because you want to get a good bite of linguisa in there. I have some garlic here, just a clove, a bay leaf that I'm going to put in tonight, and then, you guys know, my trifecta. Boom. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. I use this in my Jag, and this is the hard part. This is what I can't measure out. So you have to go by sight. And I tell people, if you want to know, watch me make it. Come on over. I said that a lot before COVID. But I have showed people, and some people write it down. I was like, please write it down. If you perfect it, just let me know. And they call me up and they're like, yeah, you're right. I wasn't able to write it down and do it. So I've tried this over a empty pan to do it, and then dumped it out and measured it. Didn't work. Tried it over a plate. Didn't work. So guys, you just got to look at it. Okay, so let me see if I can just tip this up a little bit more so you guys can see a little bit more of the full pan, because that's what we're going to need tonight. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so this is the pan, and it's going, and the onions are basically at that spot that we want. When they're a little bit golden, the edges are a little crispy. Perfect. So this is where we add our linguisa. And we want to stir that around. And then, because of the fat and the spices in the linguisa, the onions are going to start turning that beautiful reddish color. And get rid of these here. All right. Okay. We're just probably going to let this go for a couple minutes. All right. So, it's been in about 2 minutes. Yeah, about a minute and a half or so. And you really want to look for the coloring on this. And one of the secrets to Jag, and it's funny because you guys know my rice video. It's, you know, you do whatever you do with rice, like a cup, you do 2 times that for your water. So if it's 1 cup of rice, it's 2 cups of water. And you can take the cover off, mix it around a bit, see how it's doing. Not with Jag. So with Jag, I'm going to be using 1 cup of rice, but I'm going to be using 1 3/4 cups of water because it has the olive oil, the butter, and then the linguisa brings some of the fat out when you cook it, kind of like whenever you do like a ground beef. It releases the fat in those juices. So it does create a little bit of water, or a little bit of liquid, I'd rather say. So when that happens, that makes it a little bit mushy if you don't add the correct amount of water. And I've been doing this for a million years, so, well, not that old, but I've been doing it for a long time. And then also with taking the cover off, mixing it and stuff like that, oh my God, not with Jag. You have to keep the cover on for a good 20-25 minutes without taking it off, because, I don't know why, but because that's what everybody tells you to do. You're not supposed to take it off. I was cooking with a friend of mine, and we were making Jag, making some dinner, making something, and I was cooking, she was cooking, and she takes the cover off and starts to mix it. And I was like, oh! I didn't say anything to her, but I was telling my brother this story, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever, just because it's like, you know, you do not do that. It's a faux pas of Jag. And girl, if you know who you are, if I told you the story, I love you. It's all good. All right, so now when we're at that couple minute mark, this is where we're going to, I'm just going to throw the garlic in. We don't want it to burn, like I've said before in the past. Give that a quick stir. All right, now the rice goes in, a cup, and you're going to see me stir it around, and it's going to automatically change color because of the spices, which is basically paprika, in the linguisa. Okay, it's going to get a little sticky, which is fine on the bottom, because we're going to scrape that off with like those nice brown bits. Okay, you see how everything's even right there? This is where it gets tough. Paprika. Now, I layer this about 4 times so everything is very, very well covered. So you start here, and you 1, 2, 3. You got to make sure that every little bit is covered. 4. Okay, so that's 4 on the paprika. Garlic powder is 3. 1, 2, 3. onion powder is 2. So 4, 3, 2. 1, 2. Okay, now stir that baby up. There we go. Yep, you see the little bit of burnt on the bottom? That is excellent. That's what you want because you want that flavor. All right, so everything is nice in there and everything is coated. You're going to see that color. See that nice jaggy color? That nice like reddish, burnt red, burnt brick color? That's what you want. All right, so water's going to go in. Get a nice sizzle from that. All right, now you're going to want to scrape the bottom. Get all those burnt bits off. You can kind of feel it as you're going. All right. So this here is marvelous. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw my bay leaf in. And I'm going to bring this up to a boil. A nice boil, okay? And it's going to do that on its own with the medium high that I have. So, for your beans, these are dark red kidney beans. Now, I always, rule of thumb, put them in the freezer beforehand. So I take just 1 can, this is 1 can, I take it, strain it, rinse it, put it in a zip-top bag and put it in the freezer. Now, if you're making this it's best like overnight, but if you're making this in a pinch, you can do it right when you start the recipe, just so they're harder. I know some people that just open the can, dump the whole thing in. That's not my style. I think that if they're a little bit colder, a little bit frozen, that it holds the beans together more so you're not getting a mushy bean when you take a bite. So they're frozen. As you can see, they're together. All you do is take it, boom, throw it on the counter, the stove, and they loosen up for you. So what I'm going to do, as you can see that this is boiling nice, when it's boiling, you put the beans in. You give it a stir. All right. Okay. Now it's come right down to that low, and that's where we want to get it. So I'm just going to turn my heat down to probably the lowest, just about like, I have like 1 to 10 on my stove for my numbers. I'm going to turn it to a 1, and I'm going to add, you guys know me if you watch my videos, a pinch, which is about 1/4 of a teaspoon of the salt and the pepper. So that was 2 pinches of salt and 2 pinches of pepper. Now, this is the most important part. What you need to do at this point, right before we get it ready to go, is we want to make sure it tastes like Jag when it's done. There is something that we call in our family called Jag water. What you want to do, take your little spoon, put it in. This is Jag water. We want to make sure that it tastes correctly. And you can add salt, paprika, whatever you need at this point, as long as, you know, you taste it first. So I'm going to do a little taste test over here. You know what? I think it's pretty good. Doesn't really need anything. And doing that layering is really all you can do to basically have your test beforehand. So you'll do your layers, 4, 3, 2, paprika, garlic, onion powder. And now what I'm going to do is turn down, and I'm going to cover this, not going to open it at all. So this is going to be covered. And I'm going to set my timer, and we're going to go for 20 minutes on this. At 20 minutes, you can basically just kind of open it up, take the cover off, and see how you are. See where you're at. Now, if it's not ready yet, if the rice is a little al dente, that's fine because you've let it do the cooking that it needed to do while the cover was on. Okay, so bear with me again. I'm going to move the camera. All right. Hello. So this is going to take a little while. So I've made some beforehand. So this is KeeKee's Jag. Just going to do a little stir for you. So this is best served with a little warm, with a little bit of butter right off rip. Check that out. So right out of the pan with a little bit of butter on it. I made this a couple days ago, so the linguisa is a little bit of a different shape. But I made this just so we could show you exactly what it's supposed to look like when you're done. So it has those really nice colors, those deep burnt orange, those red colors. So this here is KeeKee's Jag. Enjoy. Let me know if you want to do those measurements for the spices, but I've tried many, many times. I'll try again for you all to see if we can get some type of measurement. But, like I said, old school recipe, sight and taste. And I said that jag water, that's how you know, because you taste it, you see it, and you're like, all right, I'm good. So remember, 4, 3, 2. Boom, and you're good. All right, so the big secret recipe's out. Oh my God. So let me know what you think. Leave something in the comments. Leave, whatever you think. If you've tried it, if you haven't, if you want to see something different, another Cape Verdean dish, let me know. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.